You like you done.
Damn!
My boy look like he was dying over there right now. God damn it!
Yeah, you know what's now start spitting and shit.
I thought he was on the way out.
I just think that one and done. But you said
I said I think it just teach like should be a valuable lesson, in terms of picking your spouse or whatever when you deal with somebody. Just being like what all look good ain't always good. You see what I'm saying? Or on the outside looking in, what may look good, it may be like goals. You know what I'm saying? May not be exactly what it is, but either way, despite all of that shit, you just got to make sure that you are way more careful with being with someone and then breaking up with someone. If you're gonna be out here spending $20,000 on a Birkin bag purse, goddamn it. You know what it is? It's episode 9, Yktv, you know the vibes. I'm your host, Self-Made Mel, along with my co-host, T-Leader Don, 85 the Rialto. What's happening, y'all? Let's get into it, man. I don't even want to waste no time. I know we talked for a good 25, 30 minutes before we even came on. Everybody should be nice and warmed up. We had our little quick rundown, so we're just going to the first rundown of the day, which is the Grammys rundown under celebrity news. The 63rd annual Grammy Awards got underway at the Los Angeles Staples Center. This was roughly 2 months after they were originally scheduled to take place. Hip-hop, rap, and R&B were heavily represented this year. Best rap album category included some unexpected nominees, while Nas' King's Disease wasn't exactly surprising. Royce da 5'9's Allegory Theory, Jay Electronica's A Written Testimony, D Smoke's Black Habits, and Freddie Gibbs' and Alchemist Alfredo were less anticipated, which is what the person who wrote this report said, because I want to make very clear. I'm quoting someone's report here, because I didn't think they were less anticipated. Like I told you, I thought Freddie was going to take. I thought these were dope. I thought the majority of them were good albums. I thought everybody was dope, was a talented artist. I did think Freddie Gibbs was going to walk away with it, but we did. We both picked Freddie, but I told you I got a Nas bias. I'd love to see Nas take it. So when I saw that he won, I was excited for him. You know what I'm saying? Like after being nominated so many times,
13,
13 being nominated 13 times and never winning. I mean, and that's crazy. This is Nas, bro.
If I'm Nas though, and I got nominated that many times, I'm surprised he still like pay attention to care about it. He do care, obviously, but I'm happy for him, man. Put that on his resume.
Yeah, for sure. Meanwhile, Megan Thee Stallion was nominated in multiple categories, including Best New Artist, along with Chica, D Smoke, Katronda, and Doja Cat. And Record of the Year, Savage, featuring Beyonce, while the Baby and Roddy Ricch were also up for the Record of the Year for the smash hit Rockstar. Nominees in the R&B categories included Jhené Aiko, Chloe and Holly, Free Nationals, Robert Glasper, and Thundercat. Kanye West already took home the Gilded Trophy in the Best Contemporary Christian Music Album for Jesus is King. Nas won Best Rap Album category, again for King's Disease. Megan and Beyonce now the Best Rap Performance hookup for the Savage remix. And Thundercat rose to victory in the Best Progressive R&B Album category for What It Is. Now, I wasn't too familiar, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't too familiar with Thundercat. I did just start paying attention to him recently after I started hearing some people that I know mention him, talk about him. So he ended up winning. Yeah, he ended up winning. He won a remix, I believe it was for the R&B. Best Progressive R&B Album category. So just like I said, I wasn't too familiar with him. Does definitely make some good music though, so just something to pay attention to, somebody to watch out for. Best New Artist again was Meg Thee Stallion. Record of the Year was Everything I Wanted from Billie Eilish. Album of the Year was Folklore by Taylor Swift. Song of the Year was I Can't Breathe by Derns DeMille and Her and Tierra Thomas. Jesus is King was Kanye with the Best Contemporary Christian Music Album.
Did you happen to see any of the performances?
Grammy performances?
Yeah, Grammy performances.
Only reprints. I didn't actually watch it in actual time. I was actually busy, but I got to watch it after the fact. I seen the Megan Cardi. I seen the man. Fuck people who hating on them, man. Stop worrying about what other people think about us, man. Do what the fuck we gonna do, man.
Though, like raise your own kids. Like the end of the
day.
You
worry about the wrong thing.
Cardi performance.
Yeah,
I saw it
with the shoe, with the heel and shit.
Strip club and the pole. Like
I thought it was when they was performing. I just felt I was happy that Cardi was okay because Meg swung the shit out of her little ass with the hips when she did that little shit. I seen Cardi every clip you looked at her. She looked like she was assaulted. She was like Meg backed up into it. Woo, and she was like, "Oh shit!"
She looked like she a manhandle somebody for real. You know what I'm saying? Meg,
she fuck around. You can't. Now let me be quiet. Let me be quiet. I was done for the sound. Let me be quiet.
Get her nickname.
Motherfucker, fuck around and have you running back there. Wait, what the fuck? But yeah, Kanye got Best Contemporary Christian Music Album for Jesus is King. And then just speaking of Kanye West reportedly the richest black man in American history, worth $6.6 billion. Kanye West is now the wealthiest African American in the United States history with a reported net worth of $6.6 billion. Much of the 43-year-old's net worths come from his Yeezy sneaker and apparel brand, which is valued at between $3.2 billion and $4.7 billion. His Yeezy brand is also in partnerships with Adidas and Gap, the latter of which could be worth as much as $970 million. Superstar rapper has full ownership and creative control of the Yeezy brand and signed a 10-year agreement with Gap. His Adidas partnership lasts until 2026. West also has $122 million in cash and stock, along with a music catalog that's worth $110 million. In addition to $1.7 billion in other assets, including his soon-to-be ex-wife Kim Kardashian's Skims business in April 2020, West called out Forbes and said the publication listed his worth incorrectly. While the news source claimed he was worth $1.3 billion, he argued the true value was $3.3 billion. So again, shout out to Kanye, man. And I also seen, Forbes is trying to dispute this.
They are. And
they're trying to dispute this already.
The same thing happened last year. He came out, he said it was $2.2 billion, and they said he wasn't a billionaire yet. And now they're saying he's $1.8 billion. Kanye people put that out fast. Like, no, this is what we got. This is what it is. It's 6.6. But whatever it is, he's not hurting. I mean,
I just feel like
if it's 1.8 or 6.6. Kanye's is in a good spot.
It's a B. What Cat Williams said? You should be able to kill a motherfucker just by saying 9 billion, nigga. Like, come on, 6 man. Billion, nigga. 1 billion. 1.8. It's a billion,
I'll
nigga.
take it. Yeah, so shout out to you.
Forbes, get the fuck out of Kanye pockets. Right. How about that? And speaking of staying out of motherfuckers' pockets, LAX, y'all stay out of people's shit. Famous Dex was arrested after a loaded gun was found in his car in LA. According to TMZ, Famous Dex was arrested after police found a loaded gun in the car he was riding in Tuesday. That was last Tuesday night when Dex was reportedly riding in a car that was pulled over for not having a rear license plate. Police claim Dex tried to walk away during the traffic stop and he was apprehended. After searching the car, a loaded gun was found under the seat where Dex was sitting and he was arrested for carrying a concealed firearm. Dex was booked on a felony charge and his bail was set at $35,000. According to TMZ, at that time he was still in jail. I do believe he's been since released. Dex is going, not going through things anymore. I'm not talking about from a drug standpoint. I just mean in general. I don't know the brother personally, man. But I like Dex, his character and everything. Yeah, he don't appear to be a bad dude, man. He kind of stays to himself. He got his own little crew. I wish he had better people around him.
More OGs.
I wish he had better people around him because, I don't want to see him end up being one of those casualties of the game. You know what I'm saying? One of these kids that got talent or have potential and never reached the full extent of it or never accessed that extra pocket of it because of the drug use or because of abuse or just different things that they may be going through.
It's a crazy drug too, especially when people dealing with drugs and dealing with different mental, things and they don't have nobody around them giving them good advice. So hopefully he figures it out because, like you say, he does have a lot of potential, man. Yeah, for sure, man. And I know I know we have mutual friends in common. He frequents one of my a friend of mine's store out here on Melrose very often, man. Good dude, and he, I know he's in there all the time. I'd love to bump into this dude, man. Just
share some game with him, just chop it up with him or whatever, man. Because again, he's in a position that he's very fortunate to be in, and I'd love to see him live to enjoy it. Like honestly, you know what I'm saying?
Going, right. Exactly.
And I know you were saying like fame can also be a be a drug as well. Which is very true. Fame, however, on both sides, sometimes it's the opposite because fame don't really, fame don't save you from things. Don't save people from things, right? Like I saw Benny the Butcher agree with what Jim Jones said recently where he was like, being a rapper is the most dangerous job in the world.
It really is.
And you already know how I feel about that. Like, I'm not even going to go too much into it other than to say, like, I agree 1,000,000% with that sentiment.
We talked about it. This dudes did all kind of stuff before.
No, we don't. It's not even. We don't even have to discuss it, like, because we both know it'll be something. Something later that we'll do to discuss on that one. But the reason I touched on that is because, with already having money, so Birdman and Cash Money Records are being sued over Whack 100, allegedly knocking out an actor after yelling "Keep your bitch in check." Now this actor is I'll read it and I'll let you know. I'll let you see who it is. So Birdman and Cash Money Records reportedly being sued by Hollywood actor Kenneth Lawson after Whack 100 allegedly broke his jaw during a brutal attack. According to TMZ, Lawson claims the game's longtime manager approached him and his wife Monique while dining at the Los Angeles sushi restaurant Yamashiro, Hollywood in December of 2019. Whack allegedly accused Lawson of speaking to his wife and started screaming at him, although Monique tried to de-escalate the situation. Whack yelled, "Keep your bitch in check," then allegedly punched Lawson in the mouth and jaw, causing him to violently strike his head on the ground, knocking him unconscious. Just as it looked like Whack was going to turn his rage toward Lawson's wife, several customers reportedly intervened before things got any worse. As a result of the alleged assault, Lawson says he suffered a 4-inch deep laceration to his lip and chin, multiple fractures to his jaw with 3 dislodged teeth and 1 tooth being knocked out, which required his jaw to be wired shut for 3 months. The In the Cut sitcom actor also claims he lost his Bounce TV show due to his injuries. The couple is suing Cash Money Records and the label boss Birdman because Whack was supposedly only at the restaurant to promote their recording artist Bree. They are seeking unspecified damages. Whack was involved in a parking lot confrontation with 2 white men who allegedly called him a racial slur just last December, which caused him to leap into action and scrap with them. More recently, Whack threatened to knock out Los Angeles rapper K-Deuce during a clubhouse conversation after he allegedly silenced his ability to speak in another clubhouse room, saying, "Don't play with me like I'm some bitch nigga. I raised my hand and you cut the motherfucker off. You the only moderator, nigga. When I beat you, you go into bed, nigga. This will teach you to respect real niggas. Matter of fact, where you at though? I'm out here now. Fuck all that." And a whole bunch of other tough ass talk shit. Yeah, a whole bunch of other tough talk.
It remind me almost like when Suge was like, "You don't want your manager all in your video dancing," but in the
you had me for a second because as soon as you said Suge, I was like, this reminds me nothing of Suge.
It reminds me though what he said, like the manager all in the front of the camera is like, play your position. You're here to promote artists, not to always get into issues.
Why you at a restaurant promoting an artist?
It's an event, but I'm just saying like you supposed to be promoting him. Not
niggas was eating sushi. Niggas eating sushi. You in here knocking out T from the Parkers.
Right? Why are you doing that? And
that's who the actor is, by the way.
Who is it now?
The guy that played T from the Parkers.
Really?
Yeah. Remember her best friend was come on, man. He ain't no big guy. He ain't no tough guy. The guy even said he tried to tell him, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's almost bullying.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about. Right. And the dude yelling in his face and then assaults him and blah 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 blah. Like
I think certain cats, when you get into business though, like again when we talking about fame, right, and doing things to get clout.
Yeah, fame is that drug. Some people want to be looked at in a certain way,
and it's like that's gonna bring more bad than good a lot of times because you get addicted to it. Next thing you know, he's gonna do it to the wrong person. You feel what I'm saying? And it's gonna be
definitely, and it could it could end the wrong way. You know what I'm saying?
Sued and you're gonna lose money, and next time you could end up in jail or something else happening. So you want to be careful out there, just beating up people in the restaurant, especially Hollywood actors and especially all these rappers,
especially little niggas who don't even know you.
Right? Like,
you approaching niggas talking about you was trying to get at my wife. Like, my nigga, I don't know you or your wife. What are you talking about?
Oh man.
Hey, check your bitch, my nigga. Y'all, listen. All right.
That's crazy, man. We got OGs acting like YGs. You know what I'm saying?
Sports. LeBron James becomes part owner of the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Globe reported LeBron James joined the Fenway Sports Group to become part owner of the Boston Red Sox. I think for me, for my partner, Maverick Carter, the first two black men in the part of that ownership group in history of that franchise, I think it's pretty damn cool, James said. After last Tuesday's Laker victory over the Timberwolves, it gives me and people that look like me hope and inspiration that they can be in a position like that as well, and that it can be done. It gives my kids at my I Promise school more and more inspiration as well, he continued. Obviously, the Red Sox are a historical franchise, and we know the history of the World Series championships that they've brought home to Boston and players that have come through and the legacy they hold in that area. James already has 2% ownership stake in the English soccer powerhouse Liverpool Football Club. According to Forbes estimates, the Lakers superstar will surpass $1 billion in career earnings in 2021 and is well on his way to one day achieving his goal of owning an NBA franchise, which he's spoken about in the past, but can't do right now while he's still involved in the league.
Shout out to LeBron, man.
Yeah, big shout out to LeBron, man.
He's really becoming, I think, learning from what Magic and Jordan did as businessman, he's doing in his career. And he's really making and setting stuff in stone so he could be an owner when his career is over. So shout out to him, man. The kid from Akron doing his thing. And just constantly always, paving another route for the athlete and the businessman, like simultaneously. Bringing his best friend in, and you know what I mean, seeing what he built. So
yeah, for sure. LeVar Ball wants the Pelicans to trade Lonzo. He said they can't stand New Orleans. LeVar Ball isn't happy with Lonzo's role on the New Orleans Pelicans and is hoping his oldest son is dealt away from the team so that he can finally flourish. Saying he can't stay in New Orleans. LeVar expressed his discontent with Stan Van Gundy's use of Lonzo and his apparent overusage of Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram as primary players. Lonzo's always been a playmaker. Why are you trying to change him into a defensive specialist to stay in the corner and shoot threes, said LeVar. And you're trying to change Zion and Brandon Ingram, who all throughout their career have never been playmakers. They're scorers. Now you want to put the ball in their hands. Come on, man. Williamson and Ingram went to Duke, and they weren't playmakers. So now you're in the league. You're a playmaker. Go score the ball. Do what you do. I don't know what they're going to do, but I hope he gets traded. He continued. I don't like watching him play like he plays. He can't stand New Orleans. Come on, man. LeVar's comments coincide with news that Lonzo will consider the New York Knicks as he tests free agency this summer, albeit as a restricted free agent. In my opinion, since he's been in the NBA, he has not been allowed to play his game. The game that he played at Chino Hills, the game that he played at UCLA, when he shot over 50 from the field and over 41 from three.
I think what I'm saying? He's at the point, too, in his career, and he got that man body now.
Yeah, it's like time.
This is his best year. I think he's been way more aggressive this year. You know what I'm saying? He's averaged more points than he's ever averaged.
Yeah, he's coming into that all-around play style, too.
Like him playing with the Knicks because of Julius Randle.
Yeah.
That's dope.
That would be a nice pick and roll and that chemistry. Yeah, they would.
And we actually talked about that, and I said that was where, if he was going to go, if he couldn't go play with his brother, because I'd like to see him play with his brother. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm one of them people who believe the LeVar Ball hype that if he put his sons on a team together, I don't know if it's a championship, but I think it's damn close if they play together long enough.
Would apply pressure to. But I wonder if he'll force his way out of Charlotte or if he'll.
Who's that, Melo?
Or if he'll want to
I don't know. They got a really nice young team, man.
They're giving him such
his brother.
He's the star already. So.
I was gonna say they're giving him like the reins so much to speak, like which in this NBA nowadays they've tried to kind of hinder the younger players who come in as high picks when it used to be a time where if you were a top pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 10, you're playing. You know what I'm saying? Like we drafted you that high because you go. No, it was more so than it is today. Yes, it was.
I think the young stars nowadays they get to be stars now. Look at when Kobe came in.
Not everybody is doing that though. That's my point. That's my point for what I was saying. Not everybody is doing that. He's getting more free reign like he should be than what they're doing for him. They don't do that for every rookie.
Not every rookie.
That's my point. D'Angelo Russell was a top pick when he came to the Lakers, and who we had, Byron, they didn't even want to play him. Like he wasn't a second pick. And then you let him go somewhere else, and they let him play, and he develops into what we knew he was already. That's my point. Yeah. Jordan and them ain't doing what they did, what the Lakers did with Lonzo and Luke Walton, or Byron Scott and D'Angelo Russell, and walking them in slowly. They let him play a couple of games, 15, 20 games, and they was like, you know what? Go ahead.
Be a starter.
They started starting him, and then we seeing what he's been able to produce. He's already getting Rookie of the Month. awards. I think he's the rookie of the year. I said that before he got drafted. Like,
who else is out there?
No. Anthony Edwards is balling right now. He just put up 42 and 11. 42
he's starting to come on now, but he's
gonna make it. He's a good player. He's gonna be a solid player, but I do feel like I think LaMelo is gonna be.
I like his athleticism and everything.
I think LaMelo has potential. When I have potential, I think LaMelo is going to be one of those players that's one of the future faces of the league. Like when we talk about the Zions and the Luka Doncic, he's one of those players. So
passes, he's entertaining to watch. Long threes from logo almost. So
I'm loving that. He grows into a man. Like
his man body, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be nasty.
Yeah, I would. I would like to see him and Lonzo play together. But again, I kind of agree with LeVar on the topic. Like if you're not going to play him in the way in which he's best served with those kind of players I already have, just let him go somewhere else where he can do it.
I thought they would be a good combo, him and Zion, but
they are a good combo. But it's Stan Van Gundy putting the ball in Zion's hand.
But you know what? Zion became an all-star this year. They double team him a lot, so they've been putting the ball in his hand. He's been going crazy. But for Lonzo to be his best, is like LeVar said. He needs the ball in his hand.
He got to run
fast pace, and he
UCLA got a squad right now. I don't know if y'all seen college.
Ooh.
UCLA
and USC got a.
I seen USC. I'll check them out.
Good squads right now.
I have to check them out. The Texans issued a statement on allegations against Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was hit with a lawsuit from a female masseuse who claims the Texans quarterback sexually assaulted her. The allegations have been denied by Watson, who noted he didn't see the complaint, but has never treated the woman with nothing but the utmost respect. Now the Texans have issued a statement on the matter. The NFL noted they launched the official investigation into the matter, saying the NFL informed us today that they will conduct an investigation into the allegations made in the civil lawsuits filed against Deshaun Watson. We will stay in close contact with the league as they do. We continue to take this and all matters involving anyone with the Houston Texans organization seriously. In response to the allegations, Watson took to social media to clear his name. As a result of social media posts by a publicly seeking plaintiff's lawyer, I recently became aware of a lawsuit against me, wrote Watson. I have not yet seen the complaint, but I know this. I have never treated any woman with anything other than the utmost respect. We'll have to stay tuned for more updates on that story as it continues to unfold.
He seems like, from what I followed Deshaun all the way through college and seeing him grow with his single mom and getting a house from work done as a kid. They were homeless for a little bit. He hasn't had, as far as his character, no hits towards his character, but things happen, and we'll follow this, and more and more people coming out saying he's getting massages pretty much, and looking for different things, and then he'd be like, oh, all right. If they didn't want
unless it becomes a running narrative. Next thing you know, it'll be he in every masseuse parlor in Texas.
It's a bad look though.
Getting oiled up and beat off.
Happy endings. That's it's crazy though. Now it's like he ain't going nowhere now. He ain't.
And speaking of happy endings, Dana White reveals Khabib has retired from the UFC. UFC president Dana White revealed that Khabib has officially retired from the sport last Thursday when he tweeted, 29-0 it is. He has 100% officially retired. It was incredible to watch you work. Thank you for everything and enjoy whatever is next, my friend. White then told ESPN that Khabib is retired and doesn't want to hold up the division. Tonight was our final meeting, and he is retired. The 32-year-old fighter stated that he was retiring after defending his lightweight title in UFC 254 against Justin
Gaethje.
Is that Gaethje? It was revealed that Khabib's father passed away after contracting coronavirus following heart surgery and being placed in a medically induced coma. Khabib stated that he would no longer fight without his father by his side. He added that he told his mother that he would be stepping away from the sport. White reiterated Khabib's heartbreak over his father's illness and death, telling ESPN in his last fight his father had passed away. He'd been through a lot away from his family during that time. He got injured while he was training. I thought he made an emotional decision. There's no reason to make a hasty decision like that when we don't have to. I talked to him, told him to take his time, and we'd get together later on. Earlier this week, Khabib told Russian Sport 24, "My mother is the most precious thing I have left. You won't push me to do things that will disappoint my mother. I don't even have plans for UFC in the near future. I don't even have thoughts about preparing for a fight. I saw how cousins Umar was preparing now, and I thought, alhamdulillah, praise to God, I left behind." Big ups to Khabib, man.
Khabib, man, it's crazy to see somebody in their prime walk away like that.
29-0 in his prime, 32 years old, undefeated.
He's one of them people that when he say something, he stand on it, and he promised his mom. His dad died.
What I like about this is, like, I respect not even just the fight thing, right? Mm-hmm. I respect his morals and his values, the way he holds dear to him as a man, more than anything, because not a lot of people, like we talk about this, not a lot of people are willing to step away from the bag sometimes.
He's getting paid more than any other fighter.
That's what I'm saying. Not a lot of people are willing to step away from the bag. Sometimes people let money control them. That's real. Put them in situations that they know they shouldn't be in. Or people get money. They become new money, and they just start talking crazy all of a sudden, and they become the toughest thing in the world. They just got heathens and wolves, and
they feel themselves a little too much.
They just feel themselves a little too much, man. That's all it is. Like, take some of that air out your chest, little nigga. But it was good to see this man. Love to see him go out on top. Love to see that he's still on his morals and that he realizes, me being somebody who has one parent. My mother passed, but his mom is alive, and him realizing how important it is for him to spend time with her while she's still breathing. I find that dope. He turned down a career that he's good at, a sport, money, everything to make sure that he spends the last of his couple of days with his mom. So that's what's up.
Videos of him as a kid. He used to wrestle bears in Russia.
Yeah, I seen them. I thought they was fake at first, but then I was like, oh, that's actually it.
Yeah, so it sucks to see him go in his prime, but like you said though, it's inspiring to stand on your morals and pick family over money.
Yeah, did you see the match with him and D?
Wait, what?
The match with versus him. Oh, what?
The match with him.
Nuts.
Got him.
I seen it coming.
Got him.
I saw the match.
He said, "Oh wait." He almost had me. Transition to new shows and movies, man. Showtime orders an hour-long drama series, Shaka, King of the Zulu Nation.
Let's go.
Showtime has ordered a drama series, executive produced and directed by Antoine Fuqua, about Zulu King Shaka. According to Deadline, the hour-long drama entitled Shaka, King of the Zulu Nation is written by Olu Edebunmi and Tolu Awusika. The story is rooted in actual events, and the show tells Zulu Chief Shaka's story and his unlikely rise to power. He's united multiple tribes across vast stretches of Africa in the early 19th century, achieving legendary status. This project offers a gateway to our past that is so critical to our global history and yet so often marginalized, Fuqua said. Through Shakur, King of the Zulu Nation, we hope to bring the saga to life. All the tears, sweat, and blood, and the joy and sorrow, all the intimacy and intensity and humanity. In short, we're going to rock the world with this one. For Fuqua, who's best known for directing Training Day, this has been a passion project of his for years in the making. Fuqua's other credits include Shooter, The Equalizer franchise, Southpaw, Olympus Has Fallen, and the Showtime documentary American Dream, American Nightmare. TV One will also return their hit series Uncensored for its third season, which will be tomorrow, the 21st. The edgy docuseries explores the intimate lives of the biggest and most influential icons in music, film, and television, sports, and pop culture. This season profiles Teddy Riley, Marsha Ambrosius, Donnie McClurkin, Kim, Remy Ma, Mona Scott Young, Lisa Leslie, and Jaleel White. Uncensored will give the audience unprecedented access to their favorite stars as they speak directly and candidly about topics that are typically off limits. The series will dive deep into the favorite personalities as they reveal secrets for their success, obstacles they faced, and how they manage this new world of social media that has helped but sometimes haunted their careers. When the fuck did I get a lisp? I take the golds out and I'm over here. All the series will include interviews with an expensive and impressive list of friends and entourage.
It's gonna be dope series.
I like it. I think it's a lot of people. That's a good cast.
I like Uncensored, and you learn a lot about people, and trials and tribulations. So that should be pretty good right there, man. Especially, going back to the other topic with the Chaka Zulu, that's gonna be a good series, man. I'm glad they're doing it. I can't wait to see who they get to play Chaka Zulu and show how he united a lot of nations in Africa and being one of the greatest warriors of all time. So definitely check it out. That's gonna be it.
Nigga, did you see Snowfall?
Of course.
Did you see how I transitioned to that?
Bruh.
That's all you hear.
That's all you heard.
That's all you heard.
I mean, spoiler alert. I can't believe what happened, bro. Like, with Leon, man, it's really crazy. Like,
man. Let's not do too much to spoil it,
but
in case for the people that's watching. But this show is actively becoming one of my more favorite television shows in some time. Probably I would say,
all time,
of course, Power, but I mean like on some very similar to the Wire-esque type vibes for me in this day and age. Like I'm really enjoying this show. I'm really enjoying the actors in it, the writing that's gone into it, the storyline that's gone into it.
Definitely a classic, man.
I know it's supposed to be loosely based off of the real Rick Ross, off of Freeway Ricky Ross. Is his life story, and some things are left out. Some things are not 100% accurate. I know they say he had walked away from it, I think when it was in production the first time or something like that.
Yeah, I believe so.
But yeah, I'm loving the show, man.
All the twists and turns is always something.
We can't even get into discussing it without. All right, fuck that. Y'all gonna have to skip this part if you watch this shit.
Alert.
All right, so I'm gonna give you 3 seconds. One. Okay. All right, nigga, 3. Yeah. So is Franklin gonna kill Leon? You think?
I say when he had the dream,
because he told. No, remember at the end of the episode, he did tell him no.
Yeah,
but
I think Leon gonna get up out of there. He got to.
But get out of there in what sense? Is he gonna move? No, he got money. Remember, he went to the house. He flipped the couch, cut the back. He took all his stash off the couch at the end. Remember?
But I thought, his mom.
He went to his mom first. She had dug up the $25,000 in the backyard and spent it. He went back to the stash house he had. Flipped the couch, cut the couch open, pulled his money out. So he got some money. Yeah. He got some money. He got a weapon. He got his disguise with his hair braided, but he is on the news. Yeah, he's known. His fingerprints came back. You murdered a 5-year-old girl.
One thing I don't like now they both teaming up against him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, what do you?
That was his.
No, what do you expect? Yeah, it was his niece,
Man-boy,
and his Man Boy. That's his sister who's dating Scully.
I know. That's crazy. What I'm saying? That threw me for a loop, though. Like,
yeah, but see, that's how
they feud. You just try to kill this man. Now y'all
but
teaming up.
The things that bring people together, right? What's more important? Me and you got a problem, or somebody killed my daughter and it's your niece. Real. I'm more focused at this point right now about who killed my daughter. You can be second to that.
What do you do? What do you do if you Leon in that situation?
Man, I pray to never find out, bro. It's unfortunate because of course he didn't do it on purpose with the intent to kill the little girl. Yeah. But again, I'm a person who puts everything in context. I put everything in context. Leon made a decision. Leon was staking out that house. He was waiting for who he was waiting for. He made the decision to shoot. Now, it's an unfortunate situation because of how it happened with the Elote man walking across in front of the car. And nigga, I love Elote, nigga. Yeah. Like, that would have killed me. I would have been like, I don't want to shoot you in front of the Elote man. Right.
Elote man.
If you never had Elote means corn, if you don't know. But if you never had this shit, like they put it in cups now. This is amazing. This is spoon. I love when they just
like when you cheat when it's in the cup.
Nigga, I love when they just hit you with this one right here. Because when I was young and I used to go out there and get it, they had do it on a little stick, right? And I ain't, they didn't speak English, so I didn't know what they were saying. But we just knew what we wanted, and they'd kill me because they always get to that last little part. And they look at you and be like, he know. They get to you and be like, Chile.
Yes.
I'm like, see.
I don't be liking the mayonnaise. I've seen people with all the mayonnaise on it. That's the only thing I can't do.
I have them do it lightly though, because I don't really fuck with mayonnaise like that.
I kind of never been a corn in the cob dude, but like it's the beginning of my.
See how good Elote is. And got niggas getting off topic. Listen. So yeah, that's what can bring families together though. But if I'm Leon, one thing I will say is Leon is very. And I mean, of course, it does. It's a TV show, but we talking in the context of this with a situation. Right. Leon is extremely apologetic. You saw the scene where he broke down. He was getting his hair braided. Of course, he's a kid himself. At the end of the day, he's caught up in a lifestyle. Yeah. He thought he was getting off on his ops, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And he took the life of a 5-year-old child, and it's. things like that have happened in real life. We know all the time.
Though, is that so Franklin, I thought about it. He put him in it in the first place. He wasn't in that. That wasn't his beef. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean,
they wasn't even. Cool
you can look at it. You can look at it in that context, but you got to understand, like, what technically, they would have came for Leon too, because they didn't know that Leon and Franklin wasn't.
Come from. They shot at him. And
well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. They didn't. They came for him when he went to get the money. But I'm saying, like, with you talking about Franklin putting him in it. I'm saying whether Franklin had told him, not told him, whatever. They know he's Franklin's boy. They didn't know him and Franklin wasn't having a conversation. Yeah. So. You know,
and he told him. Remember, he said, "Don't pick side." He was like, "Oh, we're gonna have to pick a side." He's like, "Man, it's the cost of doing business." Remember, Leon told him, like, "Don't do nothing about it. Let them."
Yeah, he tried to tell him.
So he put him in it. So
I think, unfortunately, man, you know, like I said, Franklin got a lot of pull with the CIA dude and stuff, but even the CIA dude couldn't help with this. I mean, it's over the news. They got the print. You know, it's a 5-year-old girl. It's only 2 ways, 3 ways this ends, and it's really only 2, but I'll say 3. So 1 is he runs. He goes. He finds somewhere else. He lives in a different state. Whatever. 2, he gets caught. He goes to prison for the crime. That's it. That's life. You'll die in jail, or probably more than likely kill him in jail because you killed the 5-year-old. And then 3, of course, is
Franklin giving him up or doing him?
Death. You're gonna get killed out here.
Well, I'm saying
you ain't gonna make it to jail or out of state.
Honestly, I don't see. Yeah, I see him getting maybe murked, but you know, like Man Boy want Franklin to do it, so Franklin's in the spot where if he don't, he already
told him at the end of the episode that he wasn't doing it, and that's why Man Boy let him know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's unfortunate because now it means him and Scully is coming at Franklin and Leon. My thing with that is, so now you're gonna go to war. You know, Leon might ride with you, or Leon might be going or whatever. But Leon is on the news. Leon's fingerprints have Leon's.
So Franklin not gonna give him.
He's not. He said at the end of the episode. Him and Man Boy face to face is how the episode ended. When they drove off, he told him he's not giving him to him. Franklin, and he had already told him at first he was going to turn him over, but he changed his mind. You know, that's his part at the end of the day. And he feel like, you know, look, I was trying to get Scully, and if you hadn't fucked up, your people didn't fuck up with shooting at the warehouse, then the nigga could be dead right now, and we wouldn't have this problem no way. The little girl wouldn't be shot. Right. But y'all fucked that up, and now you want me to turn him over to you. I just
feel like you can't really be mad when you doing stuff like that, and your child is, you know, around. You know what I'm saying? Take responsibility. You just shot at this man.
It's the price you pay when you dancing with the devil, man.
Right.
Speaking of Dancing with the Devil premieres on March 23rd on YouTube TV. A Demi Lovato docu-series, Dancing with the Devil, premiered at the South by Southwest Film Festival, which shows that the night of her overdose, she was sexually attacked by her drug dealer. Lovato said in her docu-series, "I didn't just overdose, I was taken advantage of," detailing the July 2018 events during which she almost died. Sarai Mitchell, a friend of Lovato, said Lovato had been given heroin laced with fentanyl that night in the documentary. Mitchell says the dealer, he also ended up making her extremely high and leaving her for dead. When they found me, I was naked, blue. I was literally left for dead after he took advantage of me, Lovato says. When I woke up in the hospital, they asked if we had consensual sex. There was one flash I had of him on top of me. I saw that flash and I said yes. It wasn't until a month after the overdose that I realized you weren't in any state of mind to make a consensual decision. Lovato is emotional throughout the series as she recounts coping with the pain she experienced not only in the night of her overdose, but also from a previous sexual attack. In the film, she also revealed the previous attack, saying, "When I was a teenager, I was in a very similar situation. I lost my virginity in a rape." Although Lovato admits she and her alleged rapist were hooking up at the time, she claims she made it clear she wasn't able to give up her virginity. "I was part of the Disney crowd that publicly said they were waiting into a marriage. I didn't have the romantic first time," Lovato says. That was not it for me. That sucked. Then I had to see this person all the time, so I stopped eating and coped in other ways. Wow. Lovato then says, "Fuck it, I'm going to say it," revealing that she told adults about what had happened to her. Her alleged attacker, on the other hand, never got in trouble for it. They never got taken out of the movie they were in. "I always kept it quiet because I've always had something to say. I don't know. I'm tired of opening my mouth. Here's the tea," she says. Lovato wanted to take control after her 2 sexual assaults by contacting her attackers and doing it her way, she said. "I called that person back a month later and tried to make it right by being in control. All it did was make me feel worse," she says about her teen assault. She added, both times were textbook trauma reenactments, and I really beat myself up for years, which is why I had a really hard time coming to terms with the fact that it was rape when it happened. Wow. Again, that is Dancing with the Devil, and that's going to be debuting this week, March the 23rd on YouTube TV, Demi Lovato story. I'm actually, I'm interested to check that out. I'm not a huge Demi Lovato person. I don't know like a lot of her, music, or I didn't even know she was on Disney. If we're just being honest, I'm gonna keep it a buck. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not the biggest, Demi Lovato person or nothing like that. I'm gonna keep. But I do remember the encounter where where she overdosed and things like that and everything. And I know she's been declared legally blind. She said that in one of the eyes. So
she has a lot going on, man.
Yeah, I'm always for the I'm for the survivors. So, big ups to Demi Lovato for even being able to get to a point in her life where she can speak about this openly and honestly. Nothing but the best for her, man. So I will be checking that out. Zack Snyder's Justice League streams on HBO Max on March 18th. The comic book fans are finally getting the long-awaited new version of the 2017 DC Comics film Justice League, which will be edited by director Zack Snyder. The cut will include the film's original actors, such as Henry Cavill as Superman, Ben Affleck as Batman, and Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and introduce Jared Leto's version of the Joker. Another one we touched on here a couple episodes back was The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It recently released on Disney Plus stream March 19th. Marvel's last limited series, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, follows the superheroes after the events of Avengers Endgame. The series brings together other former Marvel characters such as Baron Zemo, played by Daniel Bruhl, and Sharon Carter, played by Emily Von Camp.
That's a
genius,
dope series.
Yeah. I like
Anthony
I like
Mackie,
the Falcon.
Man, one of my favorite.
The Winter Soldier. I fuck. That's Captain America's boy.
That's his.
Yeah, and Anthony Mackie plays the Falcon. Yeah, Bucky. Yeah. So I fuck with that one. I'll check that out. I am interested to see this one. This next one, Genius. Aretha. It's called Genius Aretha. Watch. It's on National Geographic. This will be debuting tomorrow, actually Tuesday, March 21st. Cynthia Erivo stars as Aretha Franklin in National Geographic's third installment of its Genius anthology series. The fortnight streaming event explores Franklin's career and influence of the music world, as well as the activism and civil rights movements. And then next up, another new show, Tina. Will be streaming on March the 27th, the day after my birthday, so that's going to be on a Saturday. HBO's latest music-themed documentary focused on the life and career of Tina Turner, from her quick rise, struggles, and explosive fame in the 1980s. The documentary includes interviews with Turner herself and never-before-seen footage from her music career.
Oh, that's dope, man. People don't realize how big Tina Turner really was, too, back in the day, man. Like, she's known for that movie with Angela Bassett, but, it was more to her, and she was a huge star. So, yeah, I'm definitely check that out.
Yeah, I know we came in on one. The topic we came in on was actually the Quavo and
Quavo.
was that the couple name?
Quavo
baby.
Right.
We came in on the Quavo and Saweetie news, as it's now officially have been reported. Just as of last Friday, they are officially broken up. Rumors have began speculating, and then when it became official, Saweetie posted on Twitter saying, "I'm single. I've endured too much betrayal and hurt behind the scenes for a false narrative to be circulating that degrades my character. Presents don't band-aid scars, and the love isn't real when the intimacy is given to other women. I emotionally checked out a long time ago and have walked away with a deep sense of peace and freedom, excited for this new chapter of elevation." To which Quavo responded, "I know you want to make this into a show, so I'll play my part just this one time. I don't normally put my business out there, especially my personal life, but I feel the need to address this so there are no false narratives. I had love for you and disappointed. You did all that. You are not the woman I thought you were. I wish you nothing but the best."
Yeah, that sucks to see, man. When will entertainers learn, like, you can't, be the Jay-Z, Beyonce thing? It don't work.
When will entertainers learn don't buy nobody a motherfucking Birkin bag less than a year into being with them? Like,
hey, man.
No, I mean, listen, this is society nowadays. Yeah. Relationships do not last as long as they used to. fortunately or unfortunately. It depends on what your situation is. From what I got out of what she said, the love ain't real when the intimacy is given to other women. So she's basically saying he's cheating. He cheated. He's listen. The dude is Quavo.
Right.
He's high profile, one of the top artists in one of the biggest groups. A handsome dude. He's not no ugly looking dude. He be fly.
Got money.
All kind of stuff. I don't know what you expect. I'm sorry. I don't want to be that person, but I know I'm sounding like Kevin Samuels. I don't want to be that person. But if she wasn't who she became, so to speak, I don't know how you want to put that, or I don't want to say who he made her and nothing like that. But
he definitely
she had her own. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. He did blow her a little more.
Right.
We know her more for being with Quavo than we do for just her music or anything other than that. That was just the honest truth. I'm just saying. But yeah, I'm not shocked.
I think
if she was a regular person and he was still Quavo,
you knew what you signed up for.
Right.
Bam.
I think she in a way better position than she was.
Than she was coming in. Yeah.
Her music is popping. She got multiple songs, so she's gonna be just fine. And Quavo gonna be Quavo.
What draws like celebrities to have these type of like high profile relationships? Is it a business?
I think it's a bit. I think a lot of it be business decisions.
Really, I think it's a lot of it intertwined.
I think a lot of it is business decisions because
yeah.
One thing I noticed is like I think we all notice as a culture just from us being on the outside looking in, and even for us from knowing some of these people, and in them similar circles, like the shit is like a big high school.
It is.
The same people date the same people. The popular kids got the popular table. You know what I'm saying?
I be tripping
That's how it feels.
It always goes to who she's going to date next. You know what I'm saying?
Immediately.
Is it going to be bigger than
well,
Quavo?
she's on the market. She's single. Who's going to be next?
You feel what I'm saying? So it's always like that weirdness.
I seen a meme though when they was like Saweetie's DMs and there was a video of the stock exchange niggas and one was like Black Friday and they was mobbing in the Walmart and I was like, they stupid as hell. Let me pull my phone out.
Her DMs is blowing up, bro.
I know. I'm in it.
J-Lo's too.
Well, they
I ain't in that one. I ain't in that one. I ain't in that one. But Saweetie, scroll down. It's a lot in there. I'm in there. So Disneyland is set to reopen on April 30th after being shut down for more than a year due to the coronavirus pandemic. CEO Bob Chapek announced last Wednesday on CNBC Squawk Alley, the California theme park will reopen on April 30th per state guidelines. The park will operate now at 15% capacity upon reopening. Masks will be required at the parks and other health precautions will also be implemented. We've seen the enthusiasm, the craving for people to return to our parks and around the world. We've been operating at Walt Disney for about 9 months and there's certainly no shortage of demand. Now that's the main thing on that story, but the main thing on that story is they don't want you to like yell on the roller coasters. Did y'all see that?
Like
you can't scream at Disneyland now.
Enjoy a roller coaster if I can't scream. I can't even control that. Go down Splash Mountain right now.
How are they gonna keep people out? If they at capacity, like how
they're talking about 15%.
No,
it's gonna be so packed, bro. It's gonna be crazy.
Well, I wonder what's their capacity limit, so we would know what their exact 15% is.
I'm not sure, but 15% ain't enough.
I just want a turkey leg.
That's usually it for me.
Yeah,
that's usually it for me.
Fucking $20 beer.
I'm just like
sneak my liquor in.
I'm just like enthused now to see people go on the roller coasters and not scream because I want that's weird. You hear the whole
right.
When they get to the top for the drop, they just gonna be like,
you can't tell no little kid
just the whole way down.
Don't scream.
You gotta hold your kid mouth and shit.
Don't do it. You're gonna get kicked out.
All the way down, man.
Right.
You wash your clothes with hot water or cold water?
Depending on what I'm washing, but most of the time hot.
Seems like the right thing to do, right? Yeah. Hot just is like the natural answer for most people. Mm-hmm. Huh? 85? You hot or cold? Mostly when you washing your clothes.
Depends, yeah. Like what it is.
Okay. I know it's usually whites, right? Like for your colds.
Yeah.
That's what people do cold water with. Tide wants consumers to start using cold water instead of hot in an effort to combat climate change. Tide has asked that consumers stop using warm water to wash their clothes to help the earth beat climate change. According to CNN, Tide has launched a new campaign with a mission to decarbonize laundry. As part of the mission, the popular laundry detergent company urges buyers in North America to wash 3 out of every 4 loads of laundry with cold water instead of hot. Tide hopes to accomplish this goal by 2030. Listen here, Tide. Listen here, Tide. No, I got it. Listen here, Tide. I ain't never coming back home.
Right.
not gonna be able to do it.
Closed for 30 years, man. I mean,
I read that, and I'm like, I know it's a real thing, climate control and everything like that or whatever. But I just got to be honest with you. The whole time I'm listening to that, I'm just like,
my God, who the hell cares?
Right.
Is that what we're worried about? The water I wash my shirts with is what we're worried about? Listen,
that's not heating up the planet.
That's not it. That's not it.
There's a lot more. There's a lot more things that we could be worried about.
That's real.
Instead of my motherfucking warm water on my colored clothes.
I know. I be trying to have care about the environment, but them straws, man. I can't do the straws. I give me a plastic straw, all right? Just don't throw them in the sea. The turtles are gonna be all right.
Yeah, don't do that and be all the pollution and stuff. We don't want nobody to be disrespectful.
I can't stand them straws. You have them straws and they start disintegrating.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about,
man.
That's why I said, make sure you ain't polluting. We don't want nobody being disrespectful to the planet. And apparently, Tiffany Haddish believes Nicki Minaj is disrespectful. She recently, Tiffany Haddish was recently told that she is the Nicki Minaj of comedy, and it didn't sit right with her, as she threw what some believe to be some shade after the comparison was made. You can hear another guy chime in and suggest that Haddish and Nicki weren't alike because, unlike Minaj, she shows up on time. Haddish then added, and unlike Nicki, I treat everybody with respect and dignity. What's that about?
Why you got to throw the shade?
Is that shade though? Because we don't know specifically. That's why I said, what's that about? I didn't know there was an issue with. That's what I'm saying. I know there was an issue with them, but she said, unlike her, I treat everybody with dignity and respect. So she's maybe been in an environment somewhere where maybe something happened where she felt like, because of who she is, she's treating people like they ain't shit.
Well, it was Nicki was on American Idol with Mariah Carey. They had the issues, and they were saying that Nicki was laid and talking to people crazy, but I don't know.
Is that where you think that's coming from? Because Tiffany Haddish wasn't on there, right?
Possibly, or rumor.
That sounds like something personal. But we get it in a second. Hold on.
Shout out to Tiffany. She won the Grammy. First time a black woman won the Grammy since Whoopi Goldberg, I think, in the 80s. So shout out for her to that. But I don't like women attacking women. I think you just I don't like that comparison.
Let's make sure black women that y'all sticking together, that we all sticking together. Make sure y'all uplifting each other because y'all are both great in y'all own right. Nicki Minaj is Nicki Minaj. Tiffany Haddish is Tiffany Haddish. Both two beautiful black women that are being successful and continuing to push the boundaries for other beautiful black women to follow suit. So let's focus more on that as opposed to the negative, ladies. Whatever there is, if it's a personal problem, let's try to overlook the shit. Because if you don't overlook certain things, terrible things can end up happening, and we use that to transition into this next situation where I usually would even play the tone music, but this was just this is like really bothered me. I almost didn't want to touch on it, but I had to touch on it just so that people understand like the type of shit that goes on out here. So argument over stimulus money has led to a quadruple murder. Okay? Stimulus money. Before I even go into the story, we're talking about $1,400. Don't get me wrong. I know niggas been knocked for less. But we talking about 4 lives gone behind $1,400 or $2,800 if you got a kid, or whatever. This is ridiculous. An argument over stimulus money resulted in the deaths of 4 people last Saturday night in Indianapolis. Malik Halfaker, 25, felt like he was entitled to half of his daughter's mother's $1,400 stimulus check and her tax return. When Demetrius Moore refused to hand over the money, things took a violent turn. The family identified the victims to WXIN as Demetrius' 7-year-old daughter, Eve Moore, her brother, Daquan Moore, 23, her mother, Tamika Brown, 44, and her cousin, Anthony Johnson, 35. He wanted some of Demetrius' tax money, stimulus money, said Moore's cousin, Wendy Johnson. She had just got her money, and he wanted half of her money. Moore initially offered Halfaker $450 and told him take it or leave it, but that wasn't good enough for him. As he said, I'm going to get that money, Johnson said. This was just days before. Halfaker later returned to the home asking where the money was and started going through Moore's purse. Moore's brother Daquan attempted to stop Halfaker, who pulled out a gun and started shooting. He first shot Daquan, then he shot Johnson, then Moore's mother. He shot Daquan a second time, and at some point during the shootout, Moore's daughter Eve got hit with gunfire. 7 years old. Officials said the following the gunfire, Halfaker left with his 6-month-old daughter, Malia Halfaker. Moore hid on a neighbor's porch until officers arrived while Halfacre drove away with their daughter. The baby girl was later found unharmed on the city's northeast side. Halfacre was taken into custody after a 4-hour standoff with SWAT. He had the baby girl and was later found, he had been hiding in the attic to avoid tear gas that had been fired inside the home. Moore, who was shot in the back, was initially listed in critical condition. She was released from the hospital on Monday. The New York Post reports that Halfacre was held without bail Tuesday on preliminary charges of murder, robbery, and attempted murder.
Put him under the jail, man.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Like,
you
$1,400 made
you
destroy a
bitch,
family.
you like $1,400. You got kids with this woman.
Yeah,
multiple. You shot her 7-year-old daughter. You killed her brother. You shot the mother of your child behind money that is $1,400.
And how you gonna get it if you shooting her? Like,
why don't you go get it yourself? Why you gotta wait for her to get it? Why we're yours?
Yeah.
Why you ain't got no job? Why you ain't hustling? You the man, right? You want to be looked at as the man. You want everything. Why you ain't got it?
That's real.
It's just a lot of cowardice. Like, that's why women don't respect a lot of niggas today, because a lot of you niggas don't deserve to be respected. Like, I'm gonna just keep it a buck. 25 years old. Man. There was nobody around to raise this dude. Couldn't be.
That's ridiculous.
You can't have a stable, respectable father figure in your life or male role model in your life and turn out to be this at 25.
For real.
4 bodies over $1,400?
This the dude sleeping on the couch, no job.
Come on, man.
No hustle. I'm gonna just eat off her, and she dare not give me her check. I'm gonna shoot everybody up in here. Like, come on, man. Like, we gotta do better, man.
Yeah, man. And ladies, start I don't want to make it sound like I'm placing blame if this comes off wrong. I don't mean it to sound negative. What I mean is, like, just start being more selective of the people that you allow into your space, the men y'all choose to deal with. If you see early red flag signs in the beginning, don't overlook it thinking sometimes shit is a one-off. Just go ahead and cut your ties, man. It's a big planet. It's a lot of people on here. You don't have to be stuck or tied down to know any one person. It's somebody for everybody. Unless you believe what the Vatican said, because the Vatican announced that it will not bless same-sex unions because God does not and cannot bless sin. Now, in a combative statement approved by Pope Francis last Monday, the Vatican said that the Catholic Church does not bless same-sex unions, potentially widening the chasm between the Church and most of the LGBTQ community. The Holy See described homosexuality as a choice, described it as immoral, and said it cannot be recognized as objectively ordered against God's plans. The Vatican's highest doctrinal office, the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, wrote in a statement that the blessing of homosexual unions cannot be considered licit. The statement added, God does not and cannot bless sin. The note was accepted by Pope Francis, who has been lauded for his accommodating attitude toward LGBT people, both inside and outside the church. Excuse me. This decision is a disappointment for Catholics who had hoped the church would change its attitude toward homosexuality. Hundreds of nations, including those in Western Europe, have allowed same-sex marriages, and churches' aversion to embracing the LGBTQ people have long threatened to alienate younger followers. The statement said it is not listened to impart a blessing on relationships or partnerships, even stable, that involve sexual activity outside of marriage, as in the case of the unions between persons of the same sex. Individually, gays and lesbians can receive a blessing if they live according to the church's teachings. However, blessing same-sex unions will give the message to the Catholic Church that the Catholic Church approves and supports a choice and a way of life that cannot be recognized as objectively ordered to God's revealed plans. The statement was released in response to concerns about the issue from the pastor and the faithful. The Vatican insisted in a statement released alongside the Monday statement that the negative judgment on the blessing between unions and persons of the same sex does not mean a judgment of persons. Many who hope for a more transparent and progressive Catholic leadership under the reformist Pope would be alarmed by the decision. Pope Francis gave an interview for a documentary last year that suggested he called for civil union legislation for same-sex couples. Homosexuals have the right to have a home. They are God's children with the right to a home. No one should be kicked out or made miserable over it, the Pope said, adding, what we have is a civil union law. That way they are legally covered. However, the Vatican immediately distanced itself from those comments, claiming that they were taken out of context and did not reflect a shift in the doctrine.
It's a lot to unpack right there.
I'm not
surprised, but it's just.
I'm not a religious person, so to speak, right? Like I believe in God. Don't get me wrong. I believe in God. I'm not an organized religion person. So to me, I look at things a little bit differently. And like I said, I'm one of those people that at the end of it all, I believe that everybody is entitled to happiness.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. That's really what it is. Unless your happiness is so egregious, you know, or hinders other people's progress in life. Like if you're a serial killer, nigga, I don't want you to be happy if you running around killing 10 motherfuckers a day.
Nah, right.
But I mean, like, you know, just being entitled to live your life the way you want to, boundary free, free of judgment, be who you are. You know, it's kind of up to each his own thing. I get that people, these are Catholic people, so they're obviously religious. They have a doctrine that they follow or that they want to follow, and they want to recognize their lifestyle or their lifestyle choice. I don't mean to be offensive if I'm using the wrong terminology. Their lifestyle choice. I just feel like you don't really need confirmation from people to be with who you want to be with. If you love somebody, love somebody. That's basically what I'm getting to.
You don't need the approval of the Vatican.
That's what I'm saying.
That people can go and
why
get married.
Why are you trying to, like, no disrespect to them, but like, why are you trying to get married in the church? Like, you don't have to get married there. Like, you get married wherever you want. Go to the beach, go to the mountains.
Definitable.
You don't need a church to marry. You're not going to be able to
change people's beliefs, and you know everybody's entitled
to
their own beliefs.
And gay at the same time. Like, it just don't work like that.
I mean, not in their church, and according to them, it's not gonna happen. But like we were saying, they can go many places and get married, and you know, be happy.
I just feel like I said, I think it comes down to who the people are, man. You know what they want to, what they believe in, or what they mean to each other and things of that nature. Like I said, I don't like to be the person that shits on nobody's happiness. I agree with some of the things that were said by them. However, I'm gonna just be honest. I can differentiate between certain things, right? So there was a part I read where he said they released a statement after they made their comments, and they said, well, us judging what we're judging is, we want to make it clear we're not judging the person.
Right.
Now I do understand that. I do see how you can judge the lifestyle of someone without actually judging the actual person. Right. That happens all the time, you know, with the LGBT community. We see that straight people judge their community, they judge the straight community, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So I do agree with some of that. I can like you and not like some of the things you do. It's basically the thing. You see what I'm saying? I can support you and not necessarily support this lifestyle. And then you have those people who are gonna be like, well, no, if you don't support my lifestyle, then you don't support me.
You're against
that's unfair because you want because then at that point what you're saying is you want 100% devotion to something that has nothing to even do with me.
Right.
You see, I'm willing to let you be happy and live whatever you believe, your beliefs, so I live your life, and I won't infringe upon your happiness. But I just think it will be honorable and respectable for people to do the same thing in return. So to that end, I do understand what he was saying with like he said, the Pope said every homosexual deserves a home, deserves this, and that. He's just specifically stating with the doctrine of how the laws were laid out from their church. I'm not Catholic. They have certain belief systems. I don't want to be disrespectful or be funny. I've seen documentary footage. I've seen there's other things, older things where they have things that aren't even discussed openly. We all know the stigma of the priest in Catholic churches and the little boys. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. So there's it can always be looked at in a different way. Just so to each his own, man. Like I said, do what makes you happy. You don't need validation really from people. If it's a thing with your religion, then that's something I think you have to look inward to address on your own, because you had to do that when you knew who you were, not when you became gay, when you knew who you were as a homosexual person, when you accepted that and you already knew that that's what you were. The same way you looked inward to accept yourself, I think is how you go about that situation. Just transferring, still keeping it kind of still church, but I want to transfer to this topic. Steve Harvey slammed Kirk Franklin's son for posting the audio of their argument. Steve Harvey shared his thoughts on the controversy surrounding Kirk Franklin after his son, Kerryon Franklin, released the audio of the gospel singer shouting and cursing at him during an argument. The 33-year-old also alleges that his father was verbally abusive and physically abusive towards him. Harvey stated, Kirk Franklin has always been there for me, so I called him and I told Kirk, I said, I'm having a tough day today, and I just called him to lift him up because you didn't do nothing wrong. He added, the pain that Kirk Franklin was in for twofold. First of all, the betrayal of his son, that had to be devastating. That you would think so little of me, that you would take me in one of my rawest moments and try to destroy me by posting something that was purely between me and you. Right. Harvey then dressed Kerryon Stanton, and his son knew exactly what he was doing. That's why he posted it. But his son only posted the part that he thought could hurt Kirk. He didn't post the part of what he was asking of Kirk. He didn't post the part of what led up to Kirk's anger. How you 33 years old and posting something your father said, that don't make no sense. That shows you the lack of manhood that this man has. What I will say to that, I will just backtrack it. If it shows the lack of manhood that this 33-year-old man has, it shows the lack of fatherhood that was instilled in him by the man who was supposed to be his father. 33 years old, however, it's still his son. He's claiming he posted the part that when it was Kirk talking, he didn't post the part of what led up to Kirk's anger. Exactly. So Steve Harvey has no idea what this argument was based on. You're speaking from a personal standpoint, like he said, Kirk's my friend. Right. You're standing up for your friend. You see what I'm saying? I get to a certain degree the dynamic of a parent relationship with their child. I understand that, et cetera, et cetera. Listen, my nigga, worry about your daughter. Like, you writing books, trying to worry about your daughter, worry about your kids. Stop minding motherfuckers' business. You don't know what the argument was with him and his son. Nobody knows what relationship him and his son had behind closed door. The son alleged that he's verbally and physically abusive towards him. Do I think the son should have recorded the shit and put it out?
That's
Absolutely
what I'm saying.
Not.
That show.
It's probably more that we haven't seen.
That show a lack of manhood. I'll say that what Steve said. His daughter came out and said something too. I just think you leave personal issues with family members in the inside. She said that he grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. He wasn't.
But listen, it's always ways to look at that.
Why put it out there like
it's always ways to look at that. Again,
career.
He's 30.
That's what he's trying to do.
He's 33.
He ain't no kid.
He's 33. Yeah. This is the first thing he's ever put out. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. If it got to this point where he's putting something out, it might be some things that have happened where he's like, man, you got this role that you playing that the world sees you as, and that's not you. Gospel musician, this, and that. Nigga, I heard Kirk. I don't mind that Kirk cuss, nigga, but Kirk cuss like a motherfucking champ, nigga.
He's not perfect.
I will break your goddamn neck. Yeah. That nigga's a professional.
My daddy talked to me like
that's what I'm saying. Like, listen.
Right now, I'm a grown man. If I step out of line with my pops, he gonna come at me like that too. And I feel like you a grown man. I'm not gonna record it and put it out there. Be a man and stand up.
And that's what that's the only part that
on the internet.
That's the only part that I agree with. Like I said, unless there was another situation, the daughter putting her 2 cents in, I could really give a fuck less. Yeah. Like, because you're still being taken care of by Kirk Franklin. You're gonna say whatever because you're in a good space.
Yeah.
This dude has been cut off for all intents and purposes to the point of where this is what's been put out. We don't know what led to that. You see what I'm saying? We don't know what led to that. That's my only thing. Yeah. I don't agree with him. Like I said, recording this shit. I don't think he should have put that shit out. I do agree with that. But yeah, like I said, the thing when it says when that part just threw me off because it's like it shows the lack of manhood he has. Definitely. And that comes back to, again, if it shows the lack of manhood that he has, then it shows the lack of a man that raised him.
I mean, sometimes though, look, you think about it.
No, I'm not gonna let you do it.
Hold on, real quick. People that get that grow up with silver spoons in their mouth and never have.
I knew this was going on.
And they didn't have to work a day in their life, and then they get cut off. Like, hey man, you gotta stand on your own as a man. And the first, the thing that he does is, I'm gonna record my dad.
But that wasn't this.
And try to ruin his career because he's not giving me money.
But this ain't that. This ain't that. This ain't a fresh cut off thing.
All we doing is speculating.
No, there's listen. The other video clips that have been put out. I'm going off what I didn't read, what I didn't see. The same when all this came out. There's other clips, there's other videos, there's messages, et cetera, et cetera. So there is more to this story than people care to believe. The only thing about it is the world, we know Kirk Franklin. We don't know his son.
Exactly.
We're more willing to give Kirk Franklin the benefit of the doubt. That's all it is.
I seen what Kirk said. He went through therapy with his son.
Yeah,
He's put him in different programs. He put him in boarding school for a minute. He was acting up. I'm sure it was problems when he was young, but I'm just saying, you don't put your father, your business out there to try to ruin your daddy.
I do agree.
Took care of you.
I agree with that. But like I said, vice versa, the same thing. That's why I don't take his sister's opinion for nothing. Because you was raised the same way. You talking about he had a silver spoon in his mouth.
She got
same way. You still over there doing the same thing. So whatever you say, I'm not going to really look at it as valid because I know you're trying to protect your daddy.
I mean, she probably got the same attention, the same money, the same thing that her brother got. But, she's taking advantage of it. She's probably not whatever the issue was. Kirk, you know what I'm saying he didn't post what happened before that, him trying to help him, or him, talking about putting him in different programs and helping him out.
And see, this is the thing, though, because I just feel like, again, I feel like that comes down to a societal thing. Like I say, we know Kirk, we don't know his son. If his son, like everybody says this, if his son was to put out more tapes from different times, and Kirk is not what motherfuckers think he is, then it'd be like, well, that's how people do. Like, his son do something, they looked at his son and was like, oh, you was bad for doing that. Nigga, like, Kirk Franklin, come on, don't apologize to me for cussing.
Yeah.
I don't care about you cussing,
I don't feel like Kirk should apologize. That's my son.
I don't want to, that's your child. Like, I get it. But my whole thing was, like I said, it was just the opposite. I just don't like when niggas downplay the situation as if, like, nothing, like it's only coming from one side, bro. Kirk, you ain't the best father in the world, my nigga. You ain't just always been perfect and this kid turned into this. I worked with kids, bro. I was a behavioral therapist. That's the only reason I bring this up. It's very rare that you see a parent do everything they supposed to do from a parental standpoint, discipline standpoint, everything, and then the child just like hates them.
I don't think no parent is perfect. I don't think no relationship.
That was the only thing I had. Like I said, he shouldn't have recorded
but it. But I have seen a lot of people, like, even coming up, I seen a friend that was more well off, and he blames his parents for everything. He cusses at them. I'm just like, bro, you got everything you could ever want. And, a lot of them that grow up with that silver spoon, maybe they didn't put the time in with them, or, maybe. Things like that. But it could be I'm just saying, you got to have a little more loyalty and showing, and Kirk Franklin saying that, he hasn't proved to be a man. That's why he's cut him off to stand on his own.
Yeah. And that's why I said,
that proves it when he recorded him and put that out there. Like, that's not no.
But we don't know that because, again, we don't know whatever happened behind that. He can say that all he wants, but we have no idea of what circumstances this dude endured to get to that point. You see what I'm saying? He's 33. Yeah. We never heard nothing about him until right now. That's what I'm saying. We have no idea of what this dude endured. This ain't the first thing he said. Like, he said he's physical, whatever. My thing, I don't trip off for that at the end of the day. That's your pops. You see what I'm saying?
If Pops put his hands on you, like I said, right now, I'm a grown man. If I disrespect my dad, we're gonna be throwing hands.
Listen,
Kirk Franklin sounds like he abuses his kid.
My pop,
he sounds like he be getting home stressed out from concerts. He had to put on a big ass concert, right? Stressed out.
Hey, man,
son's ass.
If you step out of line, you gotta get it.
My pop's my best friend. I love him to death. Right?
Okay.
Northside Rome.
Don't you disrespect, bro.
Listen to me. You get out of line if you want to, old man. I take your ass out back now.
You better stop. You gonna come put the paws on you, bro.
I'm just playing, man. I'm high, man.
You better.
Speaking of being high, what's the highest you ever been? Man, give me your highest moment.
Off edible. I don't know if it's a scale to 1 to 10, but it was 100.
Tell me what. Did anything happen, or you just super high off of it?
I went from eating the edible to being at a club, and I didn't know how I got there. Where I'm like just sweating, and I'm just like, what am I doing here? You know what I'm saying?
We're going to table that one. 85.
Probably the first time I smoked some real, like, chronic.
Real chronic. Oh, you took it back.
Did you had a bad trip, or you was just super duper blow?
I was just super like gone. I was like, man, this is something else. I was like, and then I ate some really bomb Chinese food, so I was kind of like,
it's like the best Chinese food ever.
Just added to the drug.
I was like, it kind of made it even more intense because, like, I didn't know where I was at.
Yeah, I remember. For me, I got two moments that stand out vividly because I'm a stoner. So if I remember them, they was some shit. Yeah, some shit happened.
Right.
So the first one I would say it wasn't a weed trip; it was a wax trip, right? And you know this story already. This is a wax trip, right? So at the time, this was some years ago. I was an independent artist at the time. We was doing music. We had songs in rotation. We had songs with major artists at the time. We was cracking. We was going this night to go open for Bone Thugs and Harmony and Corrupt, I believe it was, right? So on the way there, we stopped because, we need to pick up. We do whatever. We grab what we going to get. And the person that we get it from is the person we known, forever. So he's like, yo, I got this fresh batch of wax.
Right.
If you trying to take a dab, right? And now at this time, I'm like my early 20s and shit, and I hadn't fucked with it. It was like the new shit at the time, right? So I'm like, oh yeah, I've been wanting to try this shit anyway. I had heard my homeboy had already told me he had a bad trip on the shit, right? But niggas, we just got to learn for ourselves. Oh, it fucked you up? Where can I find some of that shit at? So let me find out. So so he got the fresh batch. He put the shit, do his whole little thing, whip the shit up with the torch, the tall glass bong. He hits it. He clear like half of it. Starts choking uncontrollably like he's finna die. Yeah. I'm like, oh, it's some shit like that.
Good. The dude at the
yes. I'm like, oh, it's some shit like that. So then he redoes it, give it to me. I clear the whole thing, right? No cough, no nothing. I'm like, oh, professional. Cool, right?
Right.
So we stay there for a couple more minutes. We talking, we chilling and everything. We getting ready to leave so we can jump back on the flyway and head to this club so we can perform. And he like, y'all want one more before y'all go? We like, yeah, cool. Right? Same thing. He hits it, chokes, da. I'm like, here you go. Right. And bam, right? I go ahead and get my second wop. Halfway through it, it grabbed me. It was like, like nigga, like just choked me all the way up, right? Caught my chest, everything. I was like, oh. So I started choking, right? So I cough it out real quick, play it off, finish it out. Bam, we good to go. We roll out, we jump in the car, we on the highway, we rolling. I look over, I'm in the passenger seat, and next thing I know, I just start getting like my joints, like in my body, like my elbows, my kneecaps, everything is like just popping, right? It feels like, right? It's like moving. And it's like I'm driving, I'm pressing like it's a brake over here, pressing like it's gas over here, like all this shit, right? And he was driving this night, right? So I look over in the passenger seat, and me and him the only ones that then did the shit. The other homeboys, they in the car, they don't know that we just did wax in the house. So I look over, and he driving, but he's normal. He don't appear to have nothing wrong with him. And between the two of us, I'm the smoker. I'm the stoner. So I'm like, I'm tripping. Right. Because if he cool, it ain't no way I should be fucked up. Like, I must be tripping, right? So we riding, we on the highway, and then next thing I know, out of nowhere, I get like this just super cold, wet sensation, like in the whole seat of the passenger seat. And I didn't say shit because let's keep it a buck. Like, I'm a grown ass man. If I just pissed on myself right now out of nowhere,
you did.
Oh, the nerve, nigga! I can't hang with these niggas again.
I think I pissed myself.
I ain't said, but look. So let me tell the story, right? So we sitting, we in the passenger seat, and we riding. I'm like, what the fuck? So still high, right? I look over at him again. He's still like this. Driving, focused, no problem. So I thought, I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, hey, man, I lean over, trying to hit him with some cool shit. I'm like, hey, yo, when you get a minute, cuz, stop at the 7-Eleven. He was like, you good? I'm like, yeah, stop at the 7-Eleven. He's like, all right. So we pull off. We somewhere like off Crenshaw somewhere. We jump off, slide over to the 7-Eleven, pull up. I see a little alley. I still ain't told these niggas nothing, right? Open the passenger door, walk all the way down to the end of the alley, get down there, do the shame shit. Like, I know your grown ass ain't pissed on yourself out here in this motherfucker. On the way to the club to perform for Corrupt and Bone Thugs to open in front of him, right? So I'm like, nigga, I know, what the fuck, nigga, how did this happen? So I get back there, nigga, I get to patting my shit, and all of a sudden, nigga, it's like a mind thing. My pants are super bone dry.
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck? Whip my shit out in the alley, piss. I'm like, ain't nothing there. So I piss in the alley. I'm like, what the fuck? And I go back to the car, and I get in the car. I'm like, cause I was tripping right now. Like, they all in the car. Like, what happened? What happened? Like, you was taking a little minute, right? I was like, yeah, I was. We took some wax. So I told the other homie, I took some wax, man. I'm tell y'all, the reason I took so long was because I thought I pissed on myself, right? All these niggas just died uncontrollably, nigga. I was like, no, listen. I'm fucked up over here. And then this nigga out of nowhere, he looks at me and says, nigga, you too? Yeah. And I just looked at this nigga, I said, what the fuck you mean, me too? Nigga, you over there driving like ain't nothing wrong. He said, that's because every time I looked over at you, you was looking straight like wasn't nothing wrong. I said, yeah, because every time I looked at you, you was looking straight like there wasn't nothing wrong. We was looking at each other in between takes, nigga.
Nobody want to be like, I'm fucked up, because he looked normal. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, let me play it off. But you really didn't know.
So
I was focusing on driving.
But we get out there. We end up
real.
we getting out. It was all good, right? That was the first time. The second time,
but you didn't even know though. Remember, you went and peed twice. You was like, "Did I pee?
I piss." And shit fucked me up, man.
You was like, "No, I gotta pee.
I gotta pee." It was the wax, man. The shit was way too heavy. That was the first time.
Yeah.
The second time, I remember when I had when I had came back out to California. Like probably 19 or some shit like that, 19, 20, come back from Missouri, that initial time or whatever. And nigga, I got some shit from my older brother that this nigga had grew. You know, it was a mix. He's a grower. It was a mix of some shit or whatever. And listen to me, like weed, not too many weeds, like fuck me up. Like, you know, fuck me up, right? I'm sitting here smoking and I fired the blunt up in the living room. I'm watching TV. I'd never forget this shit. Turn the TV on, and I'm watching Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh,
that was what was on the TV.
Classic.
So I fire up while I started watching that shit or whatever, right? And it's just me in the living room watching TV. I'm watching the movie. I'm smoking for like 10, 15 minutes, and I'm laughing, dying uncontrollably at the little shit. You know, the old movie's funny or whatever. And I pass the blunt to the right or whatever. I keep watching the movie. I'm laughing. And nigga, the blunt come back from the left, nigga, and I hit it and keep smoking and laughing. And then I remembered I was the only one in the living room. How the fuck did that blunt get all the way around and back?
How did it get back to me? Who handed it to me?
There was nobody else in here, nigga. That was a trip for me. Right. I was like, oh, yeah. I need that strand every time, nigga. Every time, nigga. Shit.
You're here smoking with ghosts.
Nigga, the ghost brought the best shit, goddammit. We're going to get ready. We're going to get into the YKTV vibe of the week, man. This week is Ride Wave, Street Runner, goddamn me.
Yeah.
Yeah. There he is, stretching. Cheers.
Hey, welcome back, man. You know what it is. That was the vibe of the week. That was Rod Wave, Street Runner.
I miss you.
Nice record. I'm liking that.
Just thought of you.
That's a banger.
It's a cool little vibe. That was our vibe of the week, y'all. We're going to get into, where we at? You know, I got to start my new shit now. It's new music. Tokyo Jets has an album. Dropped March 19th called Cancel Culture. DDG and OG Parker, Die for Respect. It's a project that dropped March 19th. Also dropped on March 19th was Harry Fraud and Benny the Butcher, the plugs I met too. Fire. Guap Dad 4000 and producer Illmind 1176. Oh, no, excuse me. That was the wrong one. 1176. That's right. Coda the Fiend, Aesthetic Selector, The Killer Sunrise. What else? Burner and Tunde actually dropped some. You know, Burner's got his own record label, the Burn One Entertainment. I seen he just dropped something actually today. It's called They Land Better in Manchester. Armand Hammer, which is really Armand Hammer, and The Alchemist dropped Haram. Who else? Rod Wave, who just had our vibe of the week. His album actually drops. The Soulfly album drops March 26th. Y'all check that out Friday. Wabi in the Mirror is dropping Vision Land Atlantic. And Young Dolphin Key Glock Dumb and Dumber 2 will also be dropping a little later on in the month. So that's what we got for new music and shit there. And then you already know.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Wrong size, motherfucker.
Politics. God damn it.
Favorite subject.
The domestic terrorist that murdered 8 people, 6 of whom were Asian women, reportedly had a sexual addiction. Police say he planned more killings in Florida. Cherokee County Sheriff Frank Reynolds spoke about the murderer, Robert Aaron Long, 21, during a Wednesday office. Reynolds claimed that Long has a sexual addiction, which he says played into Long targeting and killing people at 3 Asian Atlanta area spots. He made indicators that he has some issues, potentially sexual addiction, and may have frequented some of these places in the past. Reynolds went on to say that race did not appear to be the motive behind Long's monstrous acts. Instead, he said Long's victims were targets of opportunity. I want to keep reading this here, but I got to call bullshit like immediately. I don't even want to get to the rest of this shit. This is a race crime, is it not? He went to 3 different masseuse parlors. he only killed Asian women.
Right.
And he had also frequented these same services prior. Right. He had a sexual addiction. What is he talking about? Like, what's left out?
Why are they still calling him a suspect? He admitted to it.
Because he's 21 and white.
It's ridiculous.
Next thing they'll say, they already trying to set him up to say he has mental issues, so he won't go to prison for the rest of his life.
The man came out and said, "Oh, he had a bad day." Who family wants to hear that? Oh, he had a bad day, so he killed your daughter.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just ridiculous, man.
I don't even know where the fuck I left off at. All right, he said, so anyway, he lied and said race don't appear to be the motive. There was targeted opportunity. Captain Jay Baker agreed with Reynolds, saying that Long saw the spas as a temptation for him that he wanted to eliminate.
Wow.
That's how they speak about these people after they do shit like this.
I'm tempted with... I'm a sex addict.
And I'm tempted at your massage business. And so I'm going to go to 3 different ones and I'm going to kill 8 Asian women. But this don't got nothing to do with the fact with y'all Asian women or masseuses that I frequented that happen to go fit in the narrative of my sex addiction. This has everything to do with the fact that I don't want to be tempted by your business. Come the fuck on, man. Come on, man. This is crazy. Anyway, it look like we ain't the only ones who ain't buying that shit. As many online are pointing out how the media and the police force, perpetuate, and support white supremacy while downplaying its role in race-centered crimes, particularly when the person at fault is white. Describing the shooter as having a sexual addiction is a tactic used to invoke sympathy and obscure the fact that the fetishization of Asian women is racist. This is a hate crime, one woman wrote on Twitter. Another person wrote the media coverage is harmful. Name it. He is a white supremacist. He had an Asian fetish, a sexual addiction, and intended to harm Asian women. Centered the victims. The names were, we'll get these read off. I don't want to mess these up. The names were Delana Ashley Young, Paul Andre Michaels. I can't pronounce this next one. I know it's she in the front. I don't know how to pronounce the last 3, unfortunately, but the last name is Yan. And Dayu Fang. May they rest in power. Long will be arraigned Thursday morning, and there are no details about whether or not he has been charged. I don't understand how he hasn't been charged. He's on camera going in and out of all the places. They tracked him by his license plate, his car.
No, he admitted it. He said he was having a bad day, and they tempt him with their sexual temptations.
Your bad day caused 8 lives at 3 different locations of people who never did nothing to you.
I shot 9 people.
What's a good day for you?
Right.
What's a good day for you? If your bad day is traveling to three massage parlors to kill 3 innocent women, because you had a bad day. What is a good day for you? Do you go around throwing out millions of dollars on the street to black people or anybody in impoverished neighborhoods?
I think there's a reason why.
I'm trying to see the scale here. Like, I've had plenty of bad days.
America has to start treating these people like terrorists, man.
They are terrorists.
We got more mass shootings than any country by far in the world, and it's usually white males, and then they always get talked about.
But the majority of the laws made in this country are made by who?
That's what I'm saying.
White males, right?
But look at how they get brought in. Not a scratch on them.
Yeah. Listen, I will never understand how Dylan Roof was able to get them to get him Burger King on his way to jail. Bro,
niggas are dying for cigarettes.
That throws me every time it crosses my mind. I'm like, even to the cop, like when skin color plays that importance to you, that much of an importance to you, to where this man just murdered. I think it was 12 people in the church, if I remember correctly, that were after he prayed with them.
Come on.
I couldn't look at, if a black dude did that, I couldn't look at your race and be like, yo, it's all good. I'm going to get like, nah, bro, you did that?
People kill me because it's like they don't see the bias and the difference. A man selling cigarettes, a man counterfeit money, they're getting killed. Listen, and these dudes are shooting and killing massive people and nothing's happened to them.
Listen, they see it. They just don't want to acknowledge it because it doesn't affect their privilege to a strong degree. And it's easier for them, instead of taking accountability, to push blame on others. And as we know, since the beginning of our history with them, our encounters with them, they will find a way to point the finger and make someone else be the problem, so to speak. And Representative Jerry Connolly actually touched on that. He's pushing for the FBI headquarters to remove J. Edgar Hoover's name He says he was a racist who went after Martin Luther King in extraordinary ways. Representative Jerry Connolly is fighting to get the FBI headquarters renamed because Hoover was a racist and a misogynist. According to Business Insider, Jerry Connolly of Virginia said on Saturday that he wants the FBI headquarters building in Washington, D.C. to have Hoover's name removed from it, highlighting Hoover's racist and misogynistic behavior. I introduced legislation to form a national commission to rename the J. Edgar Hoover headquarters building, Connolly said on MSNBC's The Cross Connection. He said, we need to do this because, frankly, J. Edgar Hoover was a maligned character in American history. He says the building should be named after somebody who deserves it. I introduced legislation to form a national commission to rename the J. Edgar Hoover headquarters building, he said on the show. We need to do this because, frankly, J. Edgar Hoover, again, maligned. Was that the one? Yeah. He was a racist who went after Martin Luther King in extraordinary ways. He was a homophobe. He was a misogynist, Connolly continued. He was somebody who even denied the existence of the mafia for decades, allowing organized crime to get a toehold here in the United States. Hoover was well known as the leader behind the takedown of Dr. Martin Luther King and the spearhead behind the killing of two Black Panthers, Fred Hampton and Mark Clay. Yep. Hoover abused his power and trampled the civil liberties of Dr. King, anti-war protesters, his political rivals, and too many others. Connolly said he is no role model for any time, and certainly not this one. Congress must right the wrong and rename the building. Staying in politics, the House passed the American Dream and Promise Act to protect undocumented dreamers. The House of Representatives has officially passed the American Dream and Promise Act of 2021, which creates a pathway to citizenship for nearly 2.5 million immigrants. All of the House of Democrats voted to approve the legislation. 9 Republicans voted against them in a 228 to 197 vote. At least 300,000 immigrants who have temporary protected status or deferred enforced departure forms of humanitarian relief will also be put on a track to permanent residency if they meet eligibility requirements if the bill becomes law. And for those who aren't aware of the American Dream and Promise Act, it initially allows deferred action for childhood arrivals, which is the DACA program. Recipients and undocumented immigrants who arrived in the U.S. before the age of 18 to apply for a 10-year conditional permanent residency. If applicants earned a college degree or attended a bachelor's program for 2 years, served in the military for 2 years, or worked in the U.S. for 3 years, they qualify to apply. This is a critical first step in the march to victory for citizenship for millions. So we continue to hope for the best for these people. That wasn't actually bad out of politics, because politics don't usually be shit.
Not too crazy. I'm with them on that. Get rid of the Egg Hoover, you know what I mean?
Fuck Hoover.
For real. They're going to have to change a lot of stuff, man. They're going to get rid of Washington, everything. You know, there's so many people in the history that built this country.
The country was built on racism and bigotry. So
we're going to go down a long list. Let's get to the, what we going to shout out? Let's do it.
Let's transition to the end and out here. Last segment of ours is the our shout outs topic. First, I want to give a shout out to Boosie. Hit that clap button for me, brother. He revealed that he's officially cancer free. Shout out to Boosie. Boosie took to Twitter on Wednesday, March the 17th, and revealed that he was officially cancer free, writing, "I'm cancer free, tears of joy. Thanks to everybody that said a prayer for me. God is great." In late 2015, Boosie revealed that he had kidney cancer, and a couple weeks after he announced, he revealed the surgery to remove the cancer was successful. Next shout out I want to give out is to Spike Lee. Hit that button for me, brother. Spike Lee has been chosen as the head of the jury at the Cannes Film Festival. Organizers announced on Tuesday that Lee would be the head of this year's jury, which will take place in France from July 6th to 17th. He was originally asked to be the head of last year's jury. However, the pandemic forced the organizers to call off the festival. The 63-year-old is no stranger to the festival, as several of his films, including She's Gotta Have It, Do the Right Thing, and Black Klansman, have all premiered in Cannes. Before the festival was postponed last year, his Netflix hit The Five Bloods was slated to premiere at the prestigious cinema celebration as well. So shout out to Spike Lee.
Back in Madison Square Garden. Knicks let him back in there, so shout out to them.
Yes, sir. And then Representative Jerry Connolly of Virginia, as we just touched on in the last segment in podcast, he was the last story. You can go ahead and hit that. I'll give him his run this one time. For him trying to be an agent of change and taking the steps to produce legislation to get J. Edgar Hoover's name off of the building that's supposed to represent something prestigious for this country over that institution. So big up to him for that. Trying to make a change. Next person I want to shout out is Nas. Big shout out to Nas. I'm gonna give him a real clap because after 13 nominations, Nas won his first Grammy for King's Disease for Rap Album of the Year, as we touched on in the opening segment of Celebrity News. Next shout out I want to do is to Fashion Nova. Fashion Nova donated $100,000 to the Breonna Taylor Foundation. Fashion Nova is proud to give $100,000 to the Breonna Taylor Foundation, created by Tamika Palmer to honor her daughter's memory. The foundation's core mission is to support economic, social, and racial justice through police reform and government accountability. The foundation also seeks to help young people realize their full potential, empowering them to participate in political processes and achieve better health with mentorship programs for high school girls, after-school initiatives, and educational support. So again, shout out to Fashion Nova for that, the initiative and the donation. Next person I want to give a shout out to is Drizzy Drake himself. Drake has become the first artist to place first, second, and third on the Billboard Hot 100 chart after his Scary Hours EP release. Every one of the 3 records he released debuted 1, 2, and 3. So big ups to Drake for that. And then lastly, give a shout out to West, Snoop Dogg, big homie, big unk. Launched his new Cali Rose wine. The fruity rosé is now available just in time for the spring. Notes of fresh raspberry, strawberry, and red cherry. This is the second time actually the gin and juice rapper has partnered with the Australian wine company. He unveiled the Snoop Cali Red wine last summer, which became the first 19 Crimes wine to be bottled in California. And now he has the Indigo. So Indogo. So you know. Again, big ups to Snoop, man. Hit that clap for me one more time. Just that was our shout out segment. So clap it up for everybody who was in the shout out segment doing something. He's like, preach, tabernacle, hallelujah, amen.
I'm gonna try them wines on the show.
I would love to get a Snoop interview at some point. Just put it out there now because I'm going to at you and tag you at some point. I would love to get a Snoop Dogg anything. Give me your jacket, nigga. Like, shit. Give me your Bourette from 1997. Snoop.
Hold that.
And then last but not least, I want to give a shout out to all of our followers, all of our subscribers, all of our viewers, all of our watchers, all of our listeners, everybody who has been staying down with us since the very beginning as we continue to build this platform and try to make it one of the best podcasts that is going to be out there and, friendly competition with all our other fellow podcasters. So
yes, sir.
We're going to get ready to wrap this up, man. Make sure y'all follow the pages, Yktv. I'm your host, Self-Made Mel, SELF period, MADE period, MEL, T-Leader Don, TEELEETHADON, 85 to Rialto. This has been You Know the Vibes, episode 9. We out this motherfucker.
You know the vibes.
Shit it.